Hi, Damien and Marcus from 100 Not Out here. MP,
Yes, Damo.
we all know the importance of having a diary, but who wants a boring old day planner?
Not me.
Enter the Journey of Me,
Ta-da!
the incredible 8-month wellness journal designed especially for wellness peeps like you.
Yes, Damo, this beautiful 8-month wellness guide is filled with questions, planners, exercises, reflective notes, and more. Endorsed by the Up for a Chat girls and loved the world over, the Journey of Me is a must-have if you're ready to live your best life for life.
To purchase your very own Journey of Me and receive a free set of inspirational postcards, simply enter the code COUCH at www.wellinew.com. That's www.wellineux.com.
TheWellnessCouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives. This is Up for a Chat with Cindy O'Mara, Karen Smith, and Kim Morrison.
Here we are, up for a chat about the hottest topics that are important to you, inspiring you to awaken the change within. I'm Karen Smith.
I'm Kim Morrison.
And I'm Cindy O'Meara.
And I still have a fairly croaky voice. This is going to make 2 weeks in a row that you're all going to laugh at me. I know it.
So you sound a lot better, Karen.
Yes, I feel a million times better. But I just wish, like when some people lose their voice, they get that beautiful, sexy, husky sound. I've just gone to this high-pitched 3-year-old irritating noise, and it's it's irritating me. It's hilarious.
Well, darling, we still love you.
Well, that's lucky. That's all I can say on the matter. That's lucky. But the upside to that, though, is that I don't have to do all of the talking today because we've got a special guest on the show with us today, courtesy of our beautiful Kimmy. We have the beautiful Lizzy Williamson joining us. Now, Kimmy, tell us a little bit about how you came to get Lizzy on the show to be one of our guests today.
Well, I think my first introduction of Lizzy was with Cindy. We were sitting at the Mind Forum down in Sydney, and I think we'd all been sitting for quite a few hours and our butts were starting to go a bit numb. And the next minute we heard an introduction and everybody, whoever the MC was, turned around and said, please welcome Lizzy Williamson. And this unbelievably hot, gorgeous, amazing, fit-looking gazelle prances onto the stage and gets us all up and happening and really interactively moving our body. And I just looked at Cindy and went, oh my God, I love her. And she just had this beautiful, vivacious, positive, smiling, happy energy and disposition that made you want to move. And she's also a very good friend of our gorgeous friend, Charlotte Carr. So we were talking about Lizzy not long ago, and I'd heard about part of her story, more of her story, particularly around postnatal depression and how she's used exercise to become a really big and important and focal point of her own life, in fact, making it into her business. So I just knew that she would appeal very much to our listeners. She's a busy mum, she's a businesswoman, she's hot, she's gorgeous, and everything that we all love about people out there giving it a go. So that is why I asked her and why we were fortunate enough to get her on the call.
Well, aren't we just the luckiest fish alive? So, Lizzy, welcome. Welcome to Up for a Chat. Thank you for being a part of today's show with us.
Thank you so much. That smile I have on my face most of the time is now quite huge after that introduction. I loved it. I'm so excited to be chatting with you guys. Thank you.
Oh, what a treat and an honour. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about how you came to be at the Mind Forum and be in the skin that you're in right now.
Yeah, well, I've always loved moving my body. I was a dancer. I danced all my life. I came to Sydney from a little town in Queensland to be a professional dancer, and that's what I did for a while. So it's kind of, I guess it's always been part of me, movement, being active. And so when I moved out of being a dancer, it was quite a natural progression for me to become a personal trainer because of my love of moving and my knowledge of the body. So that became my profession. And since doing that and all sort of other experiences that I've had along the way, in particularly becoming a mum, I guess discovering my voice and the message that I'm wanting to put out to the world to inspire people to move, it's kind of led me to look at what opportunities there are out there to actually get that message on a bigger stage. And certainly something like the Mind Forum, being able to get up on stage and get you all up and moving so you can actually see for yourself, oh, wow, okay, this is actually what my body is craving, what I need to do, then that's just a really, really amazing thing for me to be able to do. So it's all been a journey. I really got up on the mind stage, I suppose, because I also studied at IIN, the Institute for Integrated Nutrition, and so really became aware of this whole other world out there that was, just way beyond just exercise itself, just getting someone down and doing 10 push-ups. So my go forth and find opportunities like the Mind Forum.
And so what inspired you? I mean, you're a dancer from way back. What sort of dancing do you do, or did you do?
Oh, now I just dance around my living room to Katy Perry songs with my daughters.
Tell me, do you sing with the hairbrush too?
Oh, yes. I've got a 7 and 9-year-old, 2 girls, and oh, yeah, they love getting out the hairbrush. We go crazy. So that's the kind of dancing I do now. But at the time, I went to dance school, and then I was a gigging dancer. So I was doing backup dancing on TV shows and on stage, and then I sort of did, gigs at, casinos. I've done, terrible dancing gigs like jumping out of a cake at a 7-year-old birthday party, 70.
Bless. Oh, wow. Wow.
All those type of things that you do when you're getting through dance school. Spun barrels at RSL clubs, which probably doesn't really qualify as dancing. But then I've also done, did cruise ships, and that was a bit of a turning point for me when I sort of started going into those kind of gigs and just sort of realizing that I actually wanted something a bit more than this.
So that's amazing, isn't it? So and that's what took you to personal training?
Yes, I had not a very fun experience when I was on this cruise ship that me and all the other dancers, in fact, were actually told that we needed to lose weight, and which was crazy because we were all so small. But that was just the way it was. And it was like in that moment, like I had such a healthy relationship with my body, with the body image. I ate and I exercised, because, I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't have an issue. And then in that moment, that all changed. And I started to have such a bad relationship with food, with my body, and even exercise. It became something about how I could change my body and fix it rather than for the love of it. And that I lost that freedom, that freedom when it comes to food and movement, and just became so body obsessed. So looking back, probably not the best career choice to go into personal training, because it is so much about the body, but it just kind of, I guess, made sense. And I think a part of me wanted to get back that love of movement. And when I could show someone when they moved and when they exercised and when they got their heart rate up, how good it actually made them feel.
Lizzy, I know for many of us that have a sporting or physical background that we know what it means to really hammer our bodies and to really push it and to really engage with it and get the best or even perhaps sometimes the worst out of it by pushing it so hard. How has your mentality or approach to fitness changed perhaps since even becoming a personal trainer to where you're at now?
Oh, I love that question, because it has changed so much. I feel like I have evolved from this, personal trainer, just starting out thinking, right, everyone has to get their money's worth and I have to make everyone go super hard and just walk out of, the session just on their knees pretty much. And to being someone who realizes that how you move and listening into your body is such a huge part of it. So it isn't just about doing push-ups because it makes your arms look a certain way. I love to kind of, if I've got someone there doing a push-ups, it's like, okay, what are you capable? How are you going to do this so you actually feel super strong and empowered rather than it's just all too hard. So I'm this trainer now that is so much more in tune with my own body, with my clients' bodies, and I try and get that across also when I do, my videos and that type of thing.
Which, let's just talk about those, shall we? Those little 2-minute videos you do that are so inspiring and so quick and easy. Tell us your philosophy around exercising or functional movement from the home.
Well, they all began because, for a couple of reasons. Every time I would bump into someone, if I was, walking up to school, I'd see another mum, and, mums often kind of, shy away from me because they sort of feel guilty because they think, oh, I'm not exercising. And they would look at me and say, oh, I really want to start exercising. I just don't have time. I just can't fit it in at the moment. And I heard this over and over and over again. And it really started making me think, okay, so they're saying they don't have time. Well, how much time do they think they need? And look, I've gone through all this myself as well, thinking I don't have time to exercise. So it's a really common thing. And I thought, okay, well, what if it was just 2 minutes? You don't have to leave the house. So you've got your kids around if you don't have any equipment. So it was really all about breaking down and sort of delving into all these excuses that we put up around exercise that we give to ourselves. And it was like, okay, 2 minutes, no equipment in your home. There goes that so many of those excuses that we tell ourselves, or that's things that are holding us back. So it was the idea of doing that, and I wanted to deliver it in this way because I remember being quite sort of, stuck in my business, not quite knowing what to do, how to deliver it, what platform to be in. And I was walking along the beach one day by myself, and I said, if I could do anything right now in the situation I'm in, the resources I've got, what would I do? And it was, I would film workouts. I would put these little workouts that I do myself, that I often show, friends or people who are maybe having a hard time or, are really overwhelmed or something. I'd give them a few little moves to do. I'm going to put this on my camera and start putting this out to the world.
Oh, I think we've gone onto a mute button there. I love it. I think I was talking away to you then, and then I had it on mute. Sorry. Sweetheart.
I'm listening to the silence going, right.
Me too. I was like going, what happened there?
It was going so well.
Hey, look, I was having a fine conversation with myself, thanks.
Nice, Kim. Nice.
Cindy, you remember when we were down at the Mind Forum and remember Lizzy's bubbly, amazing personality. What were some of the things that we were talking about after with her and what we loved about her? Do you remember how I remember you saying to me, she actually makes exercise look really fun.
Yeah, and that was the thing, is that I'm reading this amazing book because I've been away for a couple of weeks and I've come home to a bunch of mail, and of course I ordered 5 or 6 books while I was away, and one of the books that I got was Man and Food: The Origins, and it's by a photographer by Matu Pali, and he's French, and he says this. He says, if you hunt, gather or grow your food yourself, you will work hard to get it and you will be super fit, he says. And what I love is that as hunter-gatherers, as agriculturalists, as herders, we all had to do exercise in order to survive. But we're now in a space in our lives where we don't have to exercise to survive. We don't have to do these things. And so I think what I loved about you, Lizzy, is that you made it like it was part of our routine, part of our life, and this is just what we need to do. And I think if more and more people realise this, then exercise won't be a chore. It will become something that is a part of their survival, is a part of their routine, because they went hand in hand. They were part of everything. So I don't know. We just had fun with you. That was the thing, is it? And I think exercise should be fun. I've often been to gyms, and I'm not a gym person. I hate to tell you, but I'm not a gym person, because I go to them and I look at the machines and I don't know what to do with them. And I guess, I want to go out and have fun and hike or swim or follow somebody who's doing some great routine. I always loved aerobics. Back in the 80s we did aerobics, and I was an aerobics instructor. I loved that because you could make that so fun. And I guess that's what I love about you, Lizzy, is that you just make it fun. And that's the main thing, is that we've got to make things fun. It's like cooking has to be fun. It's like shopping has to be fun. Like I watch Kim every Saturday post something on Instagram, and she's been to the market, and she always seems to find some handsome man. I don't know how she does it. Don't know how she does
Because
it.
she's a tart.
Every Saturday she finds somebody to have a picture with. Like last week it was Talon.
Oh, well,
You
wouldn't
look
you
like-
want...
You look like, do you know that American picture? And it's a picture of a male and a female, and the male's got the fork. Do you know that one? It's an old, I can't even remember the name.
Yeah, I
of
know
it,
the
but
one.
It's got a name.
Yeah.
That's what you two look like.
Shut up. I tell you, speaking of fitness and getting his body moving, he is one hot boy. And part of his exercise regime is always around functional fitness and functional moving, and he's the one that took us up that bloody rock face, and I just about died.
But it was
Lizzy,
fun. It was fun.
Lizzy, tell us fun to you watching me cry. Lizzy, tell us a little bit about your story about once you fell pregnant, and then what the story around your postnatal depression. Give us a little bit of background onto that and how exercise supported you through that realm.
Yes, it was when I had my second daughter, actually, and she was born 20 months after my first. And it's interesting when you guys had a chat to Nat, and she was talking about that importance if you've had any kind of history with depression, and then after you've had a baby, how that can really magnify itself, because you do come up against so many different and strong emotions. But for me, I had had no experience of my own with depression, and no history of it. And so it was such a shock to me when my second child was born that I wasn't this kind of, this earth mother that I thought I was going to be, sort of swanning around. Like, I just went into this horrible, dark place. I felt so overwhelmed, so incapable of doing anything. I'd never experienced anything like it in my life. I felt so angry all the time. I was screaming at my kids, and I had this horrible chant that would go round and round in my head whenever one of my girls would maybe cry or scream or something wasn't working, and it was, I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to kill myself. And that didn't sort of lead into a plan to do it, but that was like a mantra in my head, and I didn't recognize myself. But I'm from stock that says just get on with it. Like, look at how good you've got it. Come on, get up and go. But I felt so stuck, and I just didn't know what to do. And so my whole family, it felt like it was just falling apart. I was falling apart. I finally took myself to see a doctor because I'd really, really hit that rock bottom. And she was the one who said to me what, we all know the story. When you get on a plane, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before assisting others. She said, that's what you have to do. And I think I just heard that at the right moment and realized that, yes, that's what I had to do. I was already a personal trainer. Exercise was part of my life, but I had stopped doing it. I'd stopped doing anything for me. I'd stopped making myself a priority. I was walking the stroller, but that was kind of all. I just wasn't doing something that really, was for me. And so I thought, okay, my first step is to start moving, to start doing some exercise. And so I got a couple of workout DVDs and thought, right, every day I'm just going to put this on and start moving, even if it's 2 minutes or if I get 20 minutes on, with when play school's on. And somehow that was able to, that step, then the other step, then the next step, and just continuing going along that, moving every day, I was able to pull myself out of that place. And whenever I hear that voice, which is very, very rare, but it's still sometimes, things are really bad might come in, or I go to that place of overwhelm or anything, it is just, I know that I need to actively move.
And it's interesting you say that, Lizzy, because when people are depressed, movement is actually the last thing that they want to do. It's the most uninspiring thing that they want to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
So kudos to you for actually forcing yourself and recognizing that was the way for you personally to begin the healing journey. And I think, everybody's got their way, and it's beautiful that you identified that was your way.
Absolutely. And I think what I also had to identify is that I couldn't do what I used to be able to do. I didn't have that freedom just to be able to walk out the door, do an hour jog or fitness session or something. And I think I was kind of stuck in that, going, okay, well, I can't actually do anything. But I sort of realized that what I had to do was start very small, and that it was going to be very different from what I used to do pre-children. But just those small little things. For me, it was for exercise. For other people, it can be, many other things that make them feel good. But just that starting small, those little steps really helped me.
Oh, congratulations.
I think what happens is it doesn't really matter what you do. And they call it a keystone habit, and we've talked about this before, but a keystone habit is something that you begin to do that creates a knock-on effect that helps you make change after change after change. And it sounds like for you that movement was that knock-on effect that created the change, and I guess there's been further changes since then. Is that right? Has it not just been about movement?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're so right, that knock-on effect. I love that vision of this ripple effect of when, doing something. I mean, the great thing about movement is it's also, it does make you, well, certainly makes me and every other woman that I've worked with feel really good. But I think there's certainly, so you've got those mental benefits as well, but then there's also those physical benefits. I hear from women all the time that feeling when they are strong physically, how stronger they feel in life, that idea of when you've actually working on your body, on your core, sort of can help open up your chest, and therefore you're walking along with that chest open, and that physical, action helps mentally feel like you're more open to the world. So I think that's what's so brilliant as well about movement, is how it does make you feel that strength, that empowerment as well.
There's that whole thing around, I would be a multi-squillionaire over if I could have developed a pill that I was going to call Walk the Dog. So I want you to know that every time you ask a dog or say to a dog, and Kaz will adhere to this, if you say the word walk or walkies and you watch a dog just absolutely lose it and it cannot wait. It cannot wait to get out there. What is your magic potion walk the dog tablet that someone could take or think about, or a mantra? How do you get to that walk the dog attitude when it comes to moving?
I think it's you move through these stages, and I've seen it in so many women that depending on where you've come from, it might be really hard just to start. It might be hard to stick to it, wherever you kind of start what's going on. But everyone gets to this point, and this is what I love, is you get to a point that you crave it. You crave exercise. You want it, and you no longer, then I watch my clients, they no longer need me, and then I go, tick, I am, that is my job done. They don't need someone there giving them accountability. They don't need someone there, an outside source motivating them. And every woman I've got to gets to that point. But to continue, well, first of all, you have to start, which I know can be very hard, and the longer you leave something, the harder it is to start, and then you have to stick to it. So what I see works for people is having a very strong why, that a reason that they want to move. For me, at the beginning, it was because I could see that my family, everything was going to fall apart. So I had to do something. I had to move. And then for me, it became, as my kids got a bit older, that thing that I just wanted some time on my own, just to have a bit of that headspace. And now that they're at school and I have so much more freedom, now my why is that I know that if I don't go out and move my body, or even in around the house, get up and dance or do something, get up and have a stretch with the chair, that I can't perform in the way that I want to perform. And that, for me, is just so, so important.
So there's somebody like me.
I've been waiting for
Here we go, coaching one-on-one.
Let's
do this.
Okay.
Here we go.
Everybody settle down. Let's put our feet up, let's get a cup of coffee, and let's have a conversation about this.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Good luck, Lizzy. Good luck.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, it's hilarious that you know me so well. So, I've gone through spurts and spats of training and exercising and get injured and stuff, because for whatever reason. So it's challenging to constantly start again. And I read something a couple of weeks ago, and it just slapped me across the forehead. And it said, if you hate starting all over again, stop stopping. Oh, my God. I cracked up laughing at myself. I couldn't help it.
Absolutely.
I thought that was hilarious. But, when I've stopped through injury. So now I look at it and I think, okay, well, I just need to do things that are a little bit more gentle for myself. Obviously, I'm not quite the Kim Morrison with the strength and the running and all that, as much as I want to be her when I grow up. I'm not quite that person. So, then I've just recently started swimming and doing some yoga and stuff and looking at things like that. But it's a challenge, I tell you. It's a challenge to get my freckle out there to do it. As much as I enjoy it when I'm there, it's challenging because I can always find 100 other things that would be far more productive that I could invest my time into. And when I say far more productive, I mean business and work. So I look at it and I go, okay, well, I can either go and swim for an hour, or I can record a podcast, write an article, build a website, and write my plan for tomorrow. So save me from myself.
I hear you. There is always something else that you're right, that does seem so much more important, and I think that that's where so many of us get stuck. When you talk about the not stopping, I think that is a huge one. I know for me, I get up every morning an hour early before my family wakes up, and I go out and I do some exercise. And but I know from experience and from seeing, so many women doing this, if I stop, it's going to be so much harder to start. So there really is something in that not stopping. And I think there's really something in that adjusting it. Like you're saying, you get injured. Okay, well, what can I do here? Can I get down on the floor and take some time to stretch? Can I, rather than stopping, find some sort of alternative? So yeah, the stopping thing is hard, and that's the thing that stops me from stopping, is because I know if I stop, it's so much harder to start. And when it comes to to something else always coming first, I guess you would know the what you get out of when you move, when you exercise, how much more productive you can be, how much clearer you are. And I find for me, when I do exercise, that's when all my my clear thinking happens, when I get my big aha moments, when I have that clarity. So I guess because I have that awareness, perhaps that's why I will just always make it a priority.
And it's interesting, I'm sitting here listening to you going, yeah, sort of, yeah. Because I definitely know that I feel better. And the big thing that I feel when I am exercising, if I do, go and swim or run or whatever it is that I'm doing at the time, I definitely feel that there's a greater sensation of balance in my world. And I really enjoy that sensation of balance. But it's funny. I think I'm a challenge, because I feel like it's easy enough for me to sacrifice that balance if something really important comes up. And I'm at a point in my life right now, and I know that a lot of our listeners are the same, because I talk to them on Karen's Couch, that they get to that point in their lives, sort of around late 30s, early 40s, where they start to think, well, hang on a minute, when does it become about me? When does my life become about a level, not complete balance? And I don't actually believe that there is such a thing called balance, especially if you do have children. But I think there's got to be a point where I give me permission to make this next hour about me and me only. And I think when I look at it from that perspective, it's almost, it really is permission. I've never given myself permission. I've never allowed myself, and no matter how much somebody's tried to motivate me or what they've said, it's never worked in the context of I haven't given myself the permission to have time that's only dedicated to me and not dedicated to the rest of the world or the family or, whatever is pressing. So
why do you think that is?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. What's the difference that makes the difference, Lizzy? What makes Karen like that?
Special needs.
Yes.
Well, be nice. Be nice.
And somebody who knows that they've got to put the oxygen mask on themselves first before they can help the child. What's the difference? What makes that difference?
I love what you were saying about the giving yourself permission. And I speak to women with such low self-esteem and confidence, and often when they have become mothers, they lose that sense of self-worth a whole lot more. And so, we sort of think, oh, well, I don't deserve to do this for myself. I have to do this first. I have to have my house looking nice. I have to have my career thriving,
Well, Lizzy,
who am I to take this, time? Yeah.
But or are we just so damned exhausted that we don't even have time to think? Because I remember when my children were little, I stopped feeling like I had to do everything, but I also wanted to do everything But my body in the end would either be exhausted, or I'd get tired, or I'd fall over and hurt myself, or I'd do something that the universe made me sit still. So do women actually sit there saying, oh, I don't think I'm worth it? I don't ever recall having those conversations in my head. It was just like Karen was saying, something else had a stronger pull. It had a stronger desire to fix or do that than it did to go and actually move.
I think that's definitely true for me, and I know that that's certainly true for the circle of people that I have around me also, in that there's more, okay, here we go, there's more fun, there's more passion, and there's more desire in the work or the task or whatever it is that's in front of me personally, than there is in going and busting my hump running through the soft sand on the beach. So... you know, like, do you know what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? So it's a no-brainer decision almost to go and organise a speaking engagement. But I know that that's not the case for everybody. I know for, you know, most people, they're not doing that necessarily. For most people, it's not necessarily about fun and passion. It's probably more about obligation and necessity.
But even looking at that, I would say, and what we were talking about before, you know, that idea that, you know, getting injured, doing things, you have to go and, you know, pound the pavement and all that sort of stuff, that idea that we have about exercise, and it's almost like it can become this dirty word, this chore, this thing that everyone's told us we have to do, but, you know, I actually rather want to do this, I don't want to have to exercise. But I do think there's something in the fact of finding something that you actually kind of really like to do, that fuels your fire, that makes you, you know, that makes you feel good, that you have a bit of fun doing it, rather than having to always find something that's that is really kind of hard on your body, and just this feeling of something that you should be doing. And when I see women find that thing that they think, oh yeah, this is kind of cool, I actually like doing it, this fits into my life, this doesn't make me injured, you know, this is suitable for me, this is quick, this is fun, whatever it is, then it can become a bit more like that as well, like that, changing that mindset around exercise.
I reckon if Karen had a biochemical or neurological pathway that actually meant every time she exercised, she absorbed much more intellectual information at a 3-to-1 ratio as opposed to a 10-to-1 ratio.
Yes.
She would exercise. Yes. So I actually, and whereas you look at someone like Cindy, who wasn't doing a lot of exercise, but because she's, as in like programmed going to the gym and things like that, but she is so active, loves her tramps or her hikes or whatever. And then when that woman got back into swimming, it was like we lost her to the ocean. Wow. So it's finding, and I think you're right, Lizzy, it's finding what makes you feel that sense of euphoria, but it's also realising that exercise doesn't actually necessarily mean pounding a pavement, humping the sand, or whatever you called it, Karen.
I didn't hump the sand, love.
You notice every time she talks about exercise, it's very gruesome. It's very, very gruesome.
I never said hump, love. I never said, no, tartnicity. I never said anything about humping the sand. I said running in the soft sand. Love, you see?
This is recorded, and I will go back and listen.
You're such a tart.
Do you know?
Oh my goodness!
It's really interesting. I remember when I had 3 little kids, and Lizzy, you may know people like this. When I had 3 little kids, and you know, my husband was out to work at 6 a.m. in the morning, 6 and 6:30 in the morning. The only time I had was between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. before he left for work. And I had 2 other girlfriends in exactly the same position. And we would meet at 4:45. We would meet. We'd walk the beach. We would solve all the problems of the world walking. We'd do 8K. That was what we did, and we'd see how fast we could do it. And we'd go home and we'd be better mums and better wives and better people. And that was the mainstay for 2 decades, it feels like. And maybe, you know, I think sometimes But see, Karen wouldn't do that, would you, Karen? Because you're happy by yourself. So maybe what you need is some earplugs in your ears and listen to a lecture. Yeah. Maybe that's what you need.
Well, you know,
Lizzy, help us out here.
Yeah, but it's good that you said that, Cindy, because I think that that's true. Since I've started listening to podcasts when I'm training, it's made it really, really cool, and I get so much out of it. And I remember I had a personal trainer who was working with me, and he got really offended when I stopped coming. And he said to me, "Why don't you come over anymore? Why don't we train together?" And I said to him, "Oh, I don't mean to be mean, but I don't actually want to share my downtime with anybody."
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I felt really bad.
When I go out in the morning, when I combine my jogging with my writing of my book, so I actually have my phone strapped to my arm and have my headphones in and write, and so it all records in my phone, because I find that's when I have, all that clarity that we were talking about, and also, being with a friend. I've got a girlfriend that I always meet up with, and oh man, the conversations, like you're saying, I'm just, solve the problems of the world. Just don't even think that, what the activity we're doing is hard in any way. It's just, it's talking, it's catching up. And I love that idea. And I'm a big podcast listener when I'm out exercising as well.
Mm. Yes.
So have you got an answer for Karen yet? Have we worked out how we're going to make her exercise yet? I'm actually really excited about
Karen
answered
her own. I think she answered her own question about now how you're saying that you're going out and you're doing some things that are more gentle to you. You've actually sort of had that realization that the other way isn't working for you. So what's a way that you can, that can?
Yeah, and I think
Am I right?
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I think I've definitely had the wake up call that I need to be a bit more gentle when I'm doing the exercise. Hence the swimming and the yoga. But it's still a challenge when I'm confronted with work over exercising. It's still a challenge. But Kimmy, you're just such a dreamboat in my life, because for you to say what you just said about if I could get great downloads while I'm exercising in a ratio of 3 to 1, nobody knows me like that, That's just it's just amazing, because it's absolutely true. If I could have spiritually enlightening experiences while I'm exercising, you would have me at hello.
Okay, so and make money, all right? So I think
absolutely.
That's an important one too. And I want to tell you how you make money, Karen. I want to tell you what my girlfriends and I did. So we used to put money together to go into the lotto. And after a couple of years of going into the lotto, we never won a damn thing, and we probably spent thousands of dollars. So we decided that we would put that money into a bank account. So we decided on a specific amount, and it was 20 or $25 a week now. I can't remember. So we started this years ago. So we used to put $25 a week, I think it was, into an account. That's $75 a week. Before we knew it, we had $20,000 in that account.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it is. It's like we'll pay each other. Now, I'm putting you out of a job here, Lizzy, but
that's good.
We'll pay each other to exercise each other, and we put it into a bank account. And yeah, like I said, $20,000 years later, and we ended up doing like trips. So we did trips down to the snow, and we did hiking trips, and we've still got money in that account, by the way. And our latest thing is we want to go hiking in New Zealand, and we've got the money to do that. So we've continued to do that despite us not walking anymore. One of them lives out on 1.5 million acres in the middle of frickin' nowhere, which we did walk when I was there, but
wow.
It's really hard. But we've continued it. So you can make money, Karen. You could pay yourself $25.
That still wouldn't be enough for her, sorry.
No, that is
50
No.
or 100.
No.
Oh, my goodness, this is hilarious. But, it's funny that you should actually say that, Cindy. This morning I went and had a conversation with a friend of mine, and she said to me, "You know what, Kazza? You need to start an adventure club." She said, you need to have an adventure club where people all come together and you use exercise as metaphors. I'm quite blown away that we're even having this conversation, to be quite honest and upfront with you. That she said where you look at, so say you go stand-up paddleboarding, it's all about your core and your strength, but it's also about balance, and when you fall off, you get back on again. So she said, if you had an adventure club where everybody used exercise as a metaphor for life, and each time you did something different, like mountain climbing or whatever.
Yeah, forget that one.
So you won't be coming with us on that one, Kim?
No.
Right.
I love that. I'll come.
I'm with you. And we are climbing mountains, Kimmy.
Yes.
Kim, I reckon I've got something for you.
What?
So you're sitting there and you're doing all this amazing stuff on your computer. Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Okay, so how about in your day you get up off your chair and you move right there and then. You do some stretches, maybe you do some dips on your chair, a few chair poses. I've got, I'll send you something. And so maybe every hour, maybe every 2 hours, maybe a little alarm goes off or something, and you just kind of get up and move. You get off your bottom, we're not really designed to be sitting down all day. So if you can sort of have those little moments in your day and start with that.
Actually, Lizzy, do you know much about that? About all this problem at the moment with sitting for too long? There's a whole lot of research now coming out with the detrimental effects on our long-term health and longevity regarding sitting.
Sitting is the new smoking.
But you know what? Medscape News, I'm sorry, yesterday dismissed that theory.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah,
What did
they actually said there's not enough evidence to say that. Actually, I should get that article out and talk to you guys about it. But I think what you said, Lizzy, is a brilliant idea. And I know on your computer you can make the screen go blank, put a timer on, and it goes for 5 minutes. And because I know this because Steve Myers, who did our education program, did that. And he would run up and down the stairs until the alarm came on that he'd done his 5 minutes, and then he'd go back and he'd sit down and work. So, Karen, there is a program. You can do this. Yeah, you can do it. Thank you, Lizzy. Good job.
I must have it.
And Lizzy, the other thing is, and Cindy, I might need your help here because it was Steve that actually talked about this with the expression of the genes and how that occurs with now 20-minute intensity exercise instead of feeling like we have to go out now for an hour's exercise. I think it was something along the vicinity of 75% of your genes are actually switched on through a 20-minute exercise regime. Do you still think you get that benefit with our 2-minute workouts? I mean, from me and my perspective and hearing what you're about, Lizzy, is 2 minutes is better than nothing. And then the 2 minutes could become 2.5 minutes quite easily. And before you know it, you are up to the 20 minutes and the addiction or that sense of I need to do this, I need to have this will set in. What's your thoughts around the intensity exercise and also how we can build up to getting to that 20 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not writing a book saying, a 2-minute workout is going to, redefine your body and change your life in that 2 minutes whatsoever. But I think that there really is something about that ripple effect of moving. I think movement definitely breeds, more movement, more action. So, yeah, the idea of being able to build up, to go longer. If you're someone who is incredibly unfit, you haven't exercised for years and years, and so you have to, build yourself back up. Often I find it's also a whole lot of confidence in your body and what you can do, as well as just your actual fitness level. So being able to build up, to that point. So it's a great way to start, is just, for a few minutes there. So I don't know what the ultimate kind of time is to exercise, or the ultimate intensity. I think it's so individual, and for some people that high intensity, I'm sure, really, really suits them. I know some periods of my life it's really suited me, and I've found that that's, made me, super fit and strong. And other times in my life, it just hasn't suited me at all. And get injured, my body rebels against it. and and haven't enjoyed that at all. So
I think
I would imagine
the
it's
whole
quite
thing
individual.
around your words around movement is more probably appropriate than the word exercise, particularly for people that think they don't like exercise. And one of the ways in which I really try, because I am so busy with work, I mean, seriously, sometimes it's nice to have people in your life that actually are a bit more like a coach. So yesterday I knew that the day was getting longer and longer. I haven't been for a walk or a run, and I just thought, oh, look, today's a day that's just not going to get anything in it. My husband was due to pick me up, and I sent him a note and said, hey, look, I'm working here. I was going to say 4:45, but can you come back at 6 because I'm really on a roll? This is the text I got back. No, I will not. I want our walk on the beach. Time runs away with our lives. I'm away so much. I miss out. You miss out. Not good enough. I'll be there in 5.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I've got goosebumps.
I love that.
I love it.
That's awesome.
And he picked me up within 5 minutes. We went home. We got changed. We walked down to the beach, and I swear to you, there has never been a time in my life where I've ever been for a walk, a jog, a swim, or maybe swim, but anything where I have come back, even the mountain climb, where I've come back and gone, I wish I hadn't done that, or bugger, I exercised today. Whereas I do have, oh bugger, I didn't exercise today. So I think, maybe contextualizing what is movement, what is exercise. And the way I got around that for myself years ago, especially when the kids were little, is putting the rubbish bin out. Doing that, it was actually one of my forms of exercise. Vacuuming. It was like, okay, I'm going to hoover the heck out of this house. I'm going to do it in 15 minutes and let's see how I can do it and get a sweat on. And it was more around movement than it was actually going for a run or the gym or a swim.
Do you remember, Kimmy, the time that Kirsty and you were so flat out and you just were not getting away from your desk, and I said to you, Kirsty and I are going to meet you at your house, and we're going to walk from your house. And do you remember that?
Yes.
That amazing exercise that we did? Like, we had to drag her out of the office. It was like, we'll come to you. You don't have to come to us. We will be there. And we had the supermoon rise. We didn't know it was happening. We just were walking along, and this supermoon rose out of the ocean. So good on your husband, and good on you, Cindy and Kirsty.
It's true. And Karen, and I'm just thinking, Cindy, we need to do that to our little Miss Karen. I'm just going to turn up and say to her, listen here, tight face, beach. I think that would be part, because I think Kaz, once the hardest part, don't you think, Lizzy, is actually getting out the door. It's putting the shoes on and getting out the door half the time.
Oh, absolutely. You're fine. And if someone is meeting you, you will pretty much go, because if you send them a little message, this thing's going to happen. Like that text that you got back, that I think, no, we're going. So when the amount of times that even me who loves exercising and fitness and everything, the amount of times I wouldn't have gone if I didn't have a friend waiting for me. I would have gone, oh no, I'll go a bit later, and maybe later it never happened. But having that person, that friend, it is brilliant.
Lizzy, don't you find this interesting though, is that we won't let a friend down, but we let ourselves down. So I was exactly the same. I had 2 girlfriends. You had to meet them. Because if you didn't meet them, they'd be there at 4:45 by themselves, Mm-hmm. So you had to be there because you'd let them down. They couldn't exercise at 4:45. It was sometimes dangerous with 1 or 2 girls. Where 3 of us, we were safe because we'd had a few issues happen on our walks. Yes, we've had streakers and exposers.
Bloody Jurassic Park
People have
creatures.
hit us, and we found money, and we've had drunks, and oh my gosh. You can imagine what we've seen on Mooloolaba Beach in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I think this is a really, really good point to make, is that we will never, ever let our girlfriends down, but we will let ourselves down. And maybe we need to speak to ourselves, and we need to be the girlfriend to ourselves, as opposed to that somebody who speaks meanly, doesn't get out and exercise, lets yourself down all the time. So there you go, Miss Karen.
But I have to butt in here. Sorry, Cindy.
Oh,
Look,
go for it.
that's worked for her for about 30 seconds. She had a little guilt button just then for a second. I could feel it. I could feel it coming through the phone. But I can assure you it's gone now, and she's still not going to go and exercise. So what I'd love to know, Lizzy, is there's probably other women out there listening to Karen, listening to us right here, right now, that feel the same around exercise. I want your top 5 go-tos on how we're going to get Miss Karen out the door. Come on.
Okay, I think that she needs to find something she likes to do, first of all.
Yeah.
And then I think it sounds like a bit of accountability. So some kind of doing it with someone, or just some kind of thing.
Lizzy, you might want to reframe that one.
Yes, that would be good.
She likes to do it with someone. She does. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So number 1, like something. Number 2, accountability.
Then a big one is put it into the schedule.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
That's what I would do. And then when it's there in that schedule, some kind of alarm or something that's going to go off so you actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And, then the 5th one is, I think it's really interesting to look a bit deeper, and like what you were saying there about, why is it that, we won't let our girlfriends down? Why is it that we, do in a way let ourselves down? And, think about, I guess, those reasons, why is it that you actually think that even you should be going out and doing something, and actually making that quite, forefront in your mind.
I think that's a really interesting point. And on that note, I reckon actually Kaz could write a whole podcast on itself around looking deeper within and her accountability to exercise. I'm going to hold you accountable, Miss Karen.
Oh, you tart.
Yeah, I'm going to put out a challenge to you that we actually, how about tomorrow morning?
No.
Yeah. How about we go for a walk?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even if the exercise itself, you can't kind of find something that you like you're saying, like something about it that you'll actually think, oh, I'm so glad I did that. So whether it is, catching up with a girlfriend when you're doing it, whether it is kind of, speaking into a voice memo and writing some kind of speech or something you have to do while you're moving, or whether it's, listening to a really good podcast or lecture or something like that, actually maybe you can, make it beyond just the exercise itself.
And
Can we go roller skating?
There you go.
Kimmy?
Sorry, it's on mute. Sorry, what was that? Roller skating. I'll break my wrist. I'll end up doing something ridiculous because I want to be competitive, and then I'll end up hurting myself.
Oh, sweet.
I'd need to practice.
There's those you'd find there's some around here, I know, it's like those roller disco party type things.
Yeah,
maybe go to one of those.
Do that.
Lizzy, I think maybe even going back to the beginning of your why, like if there was some scientific literature or something, maybe this should go on the book for the Karens of the world, but there really needs to be something in there that really does explain, yes, we know we release nitric oxide, we know that we have a beautiful sense of endorphins, and we know that in theory we all operate better when we exercise and move. But maybe there needs to be something at an even deeper level than that on a mind, psychology, brainwave, something around the chemistry or the biophysics around what happens to the brain, the mind, and then even bigger than that, the mind with the emotions and the spirit. Is there, or do we have to? I'm just trying to help Kaz.
Yeah, we do have to.
Yeah. I just say I knew it. I knew it. She needs a big why, and the why's got to be more than endorphin release. This is the thing.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a bigger pull than just feeling better, because Karen feels better when she's finished another thing that she's just ticked off her list. So she gets the same endorphin release from physically finishing something. So maybe back to your point around, well, doing 20 tricep dips in between goals, or setting the thing for every hour and just doing 10 of each exercise, or your 2-minute workout would be a good thing for Karen, do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, maybe...
Sorry to be such a pain in the freckle.
It's not a pain. We're all so different, aren't we? You know, some of us really need that kind of, you know, need the science, need to see it. And other people just need the feeling is enough. And so it's so interesting how we all, you know, find those reasons. So maybe, you know how, you know how good it makes you feel and the stuff. So perhaps it's like just going, okay, think about you down the track. So say in 20 years' time, and the person that you want to be, how you want to be able to how you want to be able to think, how you want to be able to move, how strong you want to be, even further than 20 years. And knowing that without working, I guess, on your body, without giving it some kind of flexibility, some strength, some endurance, then perhaps you won't be able to, it might stop you from thriving as much as you want to. So all these incredible things that you are doing right now, for you to be able to keep doing them in the long term, what can you be doing right now, and how important is it for you to be doing them right now, even just little things in your day somehow? How important is that for you to actually, have all that strength and bone density and this awesome stuff going on in your brain and your mind? How important is that for you?
Actually, it's interesting you should say that, because it was it's my beautiful grandmother's anniversary tomorrow of her passing, and just before she passed away, I remember in the last couple of years of her life, she was in her 90s, she was 95, and I remember being at the rest home with some of the people, and she had to go to the bathroom. She had fallen because she didn't have much strength in her legs. She had fallen and broken her hip, and that, of course, then put even more pain on her. And then what ended up happening is for her to go to the bathroom, she needed help. Now, my grandmother was very English and very proper, and I remember her looking at me with tears in her eyes one day, just going, "Whatever you do, darling, don't stop exercising," And then one of her big things was, "Whatever you do, don't stop squatting," when she came back to the room. And we giggled together, and she said, "I'm serious, never stop squatting. The worst thing for me is not being able to go to the toilet by myself because my legs can't physically hold me." So, maybe, Kaz, you need to go to a rest home, you special needs, difficult soul, you.
And there I am, almost in tears for you with your Grammy. Oh, you are such a dag. Honestly, I don't know anybody else like you. You're priceless.
It's true, though, isn't it, my darling? Let's think about it.
Look, I do think that's important, that one must always be able to sit on one's toilet by oneself. I definitely do believe in that. So that there is incentive. Right there, that's incentive.
Definitely incentive, definitely. I agree.
Oh, my goodness. If it involves, what is it, the things that I can't bear, it's snot, spit, poo, all those things. If it involves any bodily function, greatest incentive that ever there was.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, Lizzy, how do we get hold of you and get your 2-minute videos every week into our beautiful inboxes? How do we get hold of you, follow you, and look out for your book? Can you tell us a little bit about all that?
Yes, LizzyWilliamson.com. And if
That's Lizzy with a Y.
It's with a Y, but if you type in IE, it'll still take you to the Y.
Oh, good.
And so there, and just pop in your details there and join me. And every week I will send you out a 2-minute workout, and some of them maybe are at your kitchen bench, maybe, you know, while you're brushing your teeth. I do quite a bit of chair sort of stuff as well, because I know so many of us are sitting in front of our computers, some on your bed, on your couch. So yeah, head there, and then you'll also get links. I do like a weekly wine bottle workout and stuff, which I'm sure you girls will love.
Right, now see, now we get to the end of the show, and now it's all got my name all over it.
Lizzy, you're gorgeous. We love you, and you are the most infectious, beautiful, and most delicious human being. And I think you're just absolutely gorgeous. And I commend you for your path, for the way you've got yourself through, you know, what was considered postnatal depression, and how you've used movement. It is inspirational. Your website's beautiful. So please don't ever stop doing what you're doing. You're inspirational to us all.
Thank you so much. I feel this big hug coming through the line. It's just, it's been so amazing talking to all of you. I think you're such inspirational women, and I feel like we could have easily just had, you know, a cup of tea together or a glass of wine or something. It's been such a wonderful chat.
Well, my darling, if you really do want to get Karen off her couch, then I suggest that what we're going to have to do is a lot longer than a 1-hour podcast, is all I'm saying.
Do you know, I'm absolutely blown away that this whole call has become about me being the biggest pain in the freckle when it comes to exercising. I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah, but my darling, for many people, you've been a great example. We've loved you being the guinea pig, because a lot of people feel the same.
Absolutely, Karen. I'm sending you. I'm sending you the wine bottle workout. How about we start with that?
Okay, I'm with you, girlfriend. I'm with you.
Our beautiful Cindy has had to take off onto the plane. Have we lost her yet?
Yeah, I think we have.
Oh, we love you, Cindy.
We love you too. And, you know, this has been a really, really cool show. This has been absolutely awesome. Lizzy, thank you for being so patient. And, you know, for everybody who's listened to the show, please don't leave me hanging out here by myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't leave me hanging out here by myself, that I'm the only weirdo. So please post your comments on our Facebook page at allthews.facebook.com/up-for-a-chat and say, Kazza, baby, I'm with you.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people out there with you. Don't you worry.
Oh, do you promise?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's my job. It's what I do, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to get you moving. I'm forming a little plan. Like,
my God,
my mind is just going.
This I have got to see. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Oh, I've become a project.
Love it. Done.
I love it. Oh, awesome.
It's a mission.
Oh, we've got you.
It's a mission. That's what it is.
It's a
Good
mission.
Yeah, I'm
mission. I choose to accept it.
Yeah. It's a mission. It's a mission.
We love you, Cindy. Drive carefully, beautiful girl. Lizzy, your final words. Anything before Kazza signs off? Any sort of inspirational, motivational piece around movement or exercise? Give it to us.
Just do it. Start moving and see how you can get it into your life. See how you can be more active. Get rid of all the rules and the expectations that you have around that word exercise, and just see what happens when you start, walking up the street rather than driving. You start doing some push-ups on your kitchen bench. Whatever it is, just get that beautiful body of yours moving.
Love it.
Oh, gosh, okay.
No one said anything about sex. Do we actually know the benefits of sex? Checking.
Do you see what I'm saying? Every single call. First, she's humping the sand. And now, we can't leave the show.
It didn't come up at all, Lizzy. I just wondered, was there anything around movement in that way? Just wondering.
Well, yes. If you think about, strength in your body and positions, and if you want to go there, we can go there. But, the stronger you are, I'll just leave that with you.
I love it.
She's always going there, Lizzy. Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, how hilarious. Okay, everybody. Well, I think that does bring us to the end of the show. Thank you, beautiful Lizzy. Kimmy has said it all. You've been an absolute treat and such a great sport. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. We look forward to having you back on the show again one of these days when we have great results with me. Just saying.
I want a post-interview with you, Lizzy, when we get there. Let's just say.
Let's just
All
do
right.
that. Let's do that.
Okay, let's do it.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully you've loved today's show as much as I personally have. I think it's been hilarious. You can also post all of your comments on allthews.thewellnesscouch.com/up for a chat. And we're going to join you here again next week at the same time, same station, right here on Up for a Chat, where you get to become part of the ripple effect that's changing the world. We're going to see you on the ride. Have an awesome week. Big hugs coming out your way. Bye, everybody.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/The Wellness Couch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives.
Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.